Okay. Hi everyone, it's Miss Silva again. I'm gonna take you on to the fourth lesson on your composition project. And just so everyone knows where they should be, by this time you should have completed your soprano line, and everyone can play it 4 times through with zero to just a few mistakes. And by this time you should also have completed your alto line here, okay? Now make sure that each stem has a letter. You can see I haven't completed mine yet. I'm going to do that now. And in case you've forgotten, you want to put your notation like so. You'll notice that since I'm playing 2 notes here, I've put the smaller note on top, the higher note on top, the lower note on bottom. That way I know which one it is. And then here my notes were G, 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 F, 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 F. I think it was, we had G on the top and D on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and write those in. And then I ended with G and E. Okay, so, and also you should make sure that your group can play the alto line as well. They're comfortable with the alto line. Okay, so if you are done with that much, then you're ready to move on to the next step, which is notation. You should have your notation staff here, a pencil, and a very good eraser, because you're going to need it for this part. Okay. Now what you want to do, of course, is take care of the housekeeping. Write your name so I know that it's you that I'm grading, and make sure you include your group's name as well so I know which group you are with. All right, and again, your homeroom teacher. All right, now, and don't worry about this part for right now. Okay. How to notate. What you might want to do, you're going to need your soprano and alto line. We'll start with the soprano line. You're going to look at your line and you're going to notate your rhythm and here. Now, this is the part that tends to get a little messy, so we're going to pull out our yellow and green cards again. For those of you who have trouble with spacing, you're welcome to use this technique. So you're going to take this, you're going to take the cards that you used to write your rhythm. That way you can have an idea on where your notes are going to line up. Okay? And then you're going to look at the letters and you're going to find them on the staff. This is why we've been using a lot of staff wars, a lot of absolute pitch twister, absolute pitch spelling bee for centers, so that way you can have a better, more comfort with the with the lines and spaces on the staff. In case you've forgotten, when it comes to lines and space notes, the line notes are right here on the lines, and the anagram is every good boy does fine. So this is an E, G, B, D, and F, and you always start from the bottom. All right, and you also have the space notes, F, A, C, E. So that means any note that's here is F, this is A, this is C, this is E. And a great way to remember that is that it spells the word face. So, okay. So now you're going to find this C here. Now this C is actually off of the staff. I know that's going to sound a little confusing at first, but that's where this particular C is. It is actually right here. You're going to draw the C right here, and you want to line it up with this first sound. So you'll just draw the circle like this. You don't want to make it too big, but you don't want to make it too small either. You want to make a nice size note head. Your next note is an E. That is our first line. You're going to line it up with this bump here. And again, make a note that's not too big, not too small. Okay, you have the C, the E, and then the G. You got to figure out where that is, every good, and line it up with that bump, bump T. Okay, and then once you're done, then you're going to actually write this rhythm to connect it. So this is a bump, bump T, so we're going to draw our line And my rule of thumb is make sure that your line passes 2 of the staff lines, or if it's on a space, pass 2 of the spaces. So here we're going to pass the first line and the second line, and then we're going to stop. Okay? If we start it from here, we're going to pass the next line, and then stop. And then here we're going to do the next line, and then stop. So that way you can make sure that they're all relatively about the same size. And then you're going to do draw the bar line, the beam, that's what they call it, okay, just like so. And then for the dots, you don't want to put the dots right in the middle. You don't want to put them there. You want to put them right next to the note, like that. It's almost like a little beauty mark. But that's very important that you put there. So there's your first bump, bump, T. Okay. Now you have your T, 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 T's. Okay. And ours was A, F, A, F. So we're going to look here. We're going to find A. Let's see. That would be a space note, F, A. So I'm going to line it up right here with the A. And I'm going to fill it in just like this. You notice how the note touches the bottom line and the top line. So we have A, and then F is the first space. I'm going to line it up with this T. And then I have it again, line it up with this T and with this T here. And then I'm going to use the stems. Then all I got to do is make sure I cross 2 spaces. So 1 space and 2 space, like that. And then 1 space and 2 space. So you notice that my lines are 2 space lengths long. And then I connect them like so. Okay, and the same here. 1 space, 2 space, 1 space, 2 space, and like so. All right, so there's your first measure. Bump, bump, T, 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 T. Beautiful. Okay. Then for the next measure, you'll take the bump, bump, T and the ta. And this one's going to be different because I have 2 notes on this one. So, but the same rules apply. All right. Now, according to this, I had, let's see. Oh, I think I made this a D. Our group made this a D. It was easier. And so you're first going to look at your bottom note. Here it's a D, so if this is C, then the space below it is the D. You don't want to mistake it for this D here, because that one is way too high. That's actually your neighbor's D. So you want to have the D, this is the D that you're going for, is right here. Okay, so you're going to draw a note head there. Your B, you're going to find the B line. So we have every good boy. You're going to draw the note right above that D. Okay, so they're all lined up. And we have 2 more sets of those, D and B, lined up with the bump, bump, T. D and B. Okay, now to connect it, I'll show you how to connect it in a minute. And for the final ta, you have an E on the bottom. How do I know it's on the bottom? Because I put it on the bottom. Okay, so that's the E here. And then your C is the high C. How do I know it's the high C? Because it has that apostrophe there. So that particular C is going to be higher than this one. So this one is F-A-C. This one is right here. Okay. Now this rest, you actually need to write the rest somewhere in the middle, and you just need to draw it just like it looks, just right in the middle of the staff. All right. Now for the bump, bump, T, which way do you have the stems go? If you have it on the 3rd line, usually we like to have them all face down. So you want to connect these all, but you don't want to make them too long. So make them about 1 space down. 1 space down, 1 space length down. Okay, and then you connect them like so. And those dots actually go on each of your note heads. Connect them like that. connect them like so. And then this one doesn't get it. All right, and then this ta is also going to go face down. And just bring it down one length like that. You don't want to make them too long, because if you make it too long, you're going to end up going in this staff here. All right, and then once you take these lines away, then you have your beautiful staff here. Okay, and then after that, you're going to go ahead and notate your alto line as well. So again, you may need to get this. Now, these are optional. This really helps with spacing though. So if you already have a good sense of where these notes go, you do not need to use this. This is just more of a guideline, so that way you can line them up. But once you have these lined up, you can also option to do it freehand. Just be careful, make sure everything is lined up perfectly. So for this one, I'm going to do it freehand, but I'm going to make sure everything's lined up. So I have a G here, every good. This is the alto line, by the way. It's going to be right here. So this is G and E. I know G is on top and E is on the bottom. That's how I wrote it. And then I have 3 of those. And just to make sure, I'm going to line them all up together. Okay. You want to make sure that these notes are not too big but not too small. I don't want to see anybody writing notes like that. That is entirely too small. That's a dot on the page. Make sure you can fill it the size of a space, the size you would have of a space. All right, so these are lined up relatively well. So I will extend this up. Okay, and to make sure I can see my beam above that bar line, I'm just going to connect them like so. Okay, and I do put a dot after each one. Whoops, not after that one. This is where the eraser comes in handy. All right, and then to notate my F's, I have 4 F's in a row. I do not want to put them like this, because when I put them all together, it's going to look more like a tippy-tippy, and we don't want that. We want them spread out just like this. So I'm going to erase this, and then do an F here, line this one up here, line this one up here, and this one here. And then I'm going to bring it up 2 space lengths. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, and 1, 2, and I will connect them above. Okay. All right, and then my GDs, I have G here, and a D here, a G here, and a D here, lining up perfectly, or relatively perfectly. G, D. Again, you don't want to make it too high. Okay, and just connect them. And you'll notice that I'm kind of putting my bump tees at an angle just to make sure that I don't mistake them. You don't want to line them up with the staff line, because then it's not going to look right. And make sure you put your dots. Okay, and then my final one, G and E, a ta, like so. And you'll notice that all these, because they were below that middle line, I had kept all the stems up. This one here, I had these guys and that one there above the middle line, so I put the stems down. Oh, and I forgot my rest. Always make sure you put your rest at the end. Okay, so that's what you're going to be completing by the end of class, or maybe you need to continue working on a next class. All right, if you have any questions, just ask Miss Manto or Miss Silva. All right? All right, get to it.